Oh, now I have the hello there as well.
Hello there. Oh, the comment from Flint Hammer.
Yeah, I have changed my setup today for last time I was hardly seeable, I feel.
Yeah.
And this time I have changed that because now I have a screen right in front of my face. So I don't have to always look up and look right. My setup today
Okay, I'm hearing
for
someone's audio. Is that you, Simon?
yes, that's me.
Changed your setup, eh? Made it all prioritized, eh?
Oh boy, we're getting some serious echo.
We're getting a repeat, is what we're
Oh
getting.
god, sorry, I've got some wonderful comments already. Flynn Hammer, obviously, hello, and then hello there, and then Symbio Joe replies, General Flinobi.
What?
You know, what's his face? General Grievous, or whatever he is, the forearm.
Obi-Wan? Oh, okay.
The hello there,
I'm
General
not hearing
Kenobi.
anything you say because I don't want to cause any of those echoes again.
Do you have headphones?
But for that, I have to grab my. Oop. Now I see my desk on the internet.
Okay, good. I split the screens. I don't know whether you want to work in the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen.
Oh,
I'm usually working in the bottom of mine.
Atelier AG is there.
So he is.
Now I can hear you again.
Okay, good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. We're joined today by our special guest host, Peter. Peter, what do you prefer to be called on the stream?
Just call me Peter. It's fine.
All right, we're joined by Peter.
Hello.
And also by the illustrious German himself, Hydra. So, I was gonna say that we're the last time we got together, we did some like a sculpt off thing. I don't know that we're gonna do that today. I think this is just like a working on stuff edition. But if you have questions about sculpting, I mean, we're here. We could probably do that. Simon, what are you feeling about working
on? I feel like working on my setup because I feel it's pretty dark what you can see.
Yeah.
So I will try.
It's not too bad, I would say.
I'll try to improve that. It's not that I have not enough light. It's something about the setting.
Also, if you have, if you're working on stuff that's really light, that might be good and dark. But I don't know what you're.
Okay. Okay, getting a little bit lighter. Darth Bob is there. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Darth Bob. And
hey.
Ramon Marti Gonzalez. I don't know if I did that right, but welcome. Oh!
Okay, how does that look?
Well, that's pretty. See, that's pretty white. It's not in focus, I don't think, but because the putty is so light, darker light, less. Ugh. The less bright your surface is, your workspace is, the better it's gonna be able to be seen. Because right now it looks pretty bright.
Yeah. Okay, that's why they were always working green stuff, right?
Exactly.
I never would have thought of that. You know?
Well, yeah, like when you start working with like this stuff, like the epoxy clay, and if you go and you're like, hey, I'm gonna turn my light up to max brightness, it just disappears.
Like yeah, I can.
Like green, you can still kind of see it, but okay, that's an absurd example, but even like
yeah. Oh, I can see that. That's pretty hard to see when you. Vermis says, "Hail Hydra," and the other guy.
Oh, you bastard!
Also, we've got.
I hijacked it.
we've got Tom Wilson and Forrest Sprite in as well.
Oh, welcome, friends. This is early for Forrest Sprite. Good work, buddy.
Oh, and Ramon Marty Gonzalez says, Hydra, what kind of stuff do you use for that NID?
I am working with a female professional.
Because you are a professional.
Yeah, sure. someone stated on Instagram that he would work with the professional stuff as well, because simply the name suggests that you are a professional.
Oh dear. I assume that means I have to get Fimo Clumsy Amateur in that case.
I have Epoxy Sculpt. Oh wait, can I show you this? Epoxy Sculpt. I don't know what I'm doing. That's the brand of Epoxy Sculpt I use.
I see.
I have that Epoxy Sculpt.
Oh, put it up a little. I put your thing down so that your name wasn't showing. Thought it looked a little weird. You're simply the best. Cute. What's the rest of it?
Some random sticker I found. It somewhat reminds me of you. I don't know why. It must be the sunglasses. So I kept it.
Surely it's the big black mustache.
And I also like that one as well.
Apparently Atelier was the person that mentioned the professional thing on Instagram.
He is a professional, that guy.
Ah, neat.
Okay.
Also, we had a question from Ramon earlier. I recognize him now from Instagram. He asked if I was going to make the thorax bigger on the dominatrix. And hold on, it's like this is very bright. Oh my god, what have I done? So I don't really want to make the thorax bigger simply because this is one of the final pieces of the original model that still exists in the sculpt, and I kind of like the fact that it's still there.
Yeah.
So
it is a nice sculpt as well. What little is left of it.
Yeah, and it's more just so that I can be like, hey, look, I converted it. Because like, if we went and did a survey of this model, here's the original stuff. This is original. In here, we've got a bit of originality kicking around, and we got the head, but that's about it. So I guess and I also like sculpted these armor plates here, and I'm really happy with them, so I don't want to have to resculpt them. So maybe that's a lazy reason, but that's the reason I'm going with.
Yeah. You know, speaking of the... Oh god, I can hear myself. That always confuses me. Speaking of the Forge World Hyrule, which this was based off.
Yeah.
That and sculpting, and also the Hydra cast miniatures, which we reviewed. Was it last stream you reviewed them?
I think so. I think it was last stream.
Well, it occurred to me, what if I were to, for some reason, start doing like third-party, totally not Tyranids, which is hugely unlikely because I'm not that good a sculptor and I don't have that kind of capital or resources. But I was talking to a friend about how it's a shame that the Hyrule doesn't really fit in with modern Tyranid aesthetics, and he said, well, what you clearly need to do is create a range of totally not Tyranids that fit in with the Hyrule aesthetic.
That would be an interesting solution.
Yeah, so that would be my third-party Tyranid pitch. Would be
Hyrule Nids.
Hyrule Nids, yeah, presumably sculpted from wax, like the original was by. Was it Simon Egan that sculpted it? I can never remember.
Simon Egan.
Hydra, what are you doing?
I am working. Well, someone asked. I think it was Vermis who said, "How does it compare to other putties?"
Yeah.
I am far from being confident enough to just compare it with other stuff. But what I have found is that Fimo is a little bit different than other putties where I used to work with.
Yeah.
And that it's slightly dissolvable with alcohol, which is I got in this bottle. But if you apply lots of alcohol, something will dissolve like it does with like water does to
epoxy putty or milliput.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I use the alcohol as I do with as I would use Nivea on my tools.
Oh, I see. Yes.
And to since the alcohol wants to disappear, I'm trying to keep that in that little sponge for as long as possible, so I don't have to refill it all the time.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And
Yeah, Vermis is satisfied with that response, judging by the thumbs up.
I was going to
Oh,
make a
that's
joke
good.
that you're talking about how alcohol helps it dissolve. When I apply alcohol, it normally helps my self-control dissolve.
Wow. Okay, my
Cheesy
English is
dad
not good
jokes.
enough.
Oh dear. As my mother would say, weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really liking the dominatrix so far. By the way, it's looking really good.
Oh my God, why is Brother Pink here? It's like ass
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning.
That is a good question. I am terrible at time zones. He's still in Japan, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in Japan. Brother Pink, if you want, we're in the Skype chat. So if you want to like be a fourth wheel, you could come and join us in the Skype chat. I just added Peter to that one, but your call. But thanks, Peter. Yeah, the Dom's coming along pretty well. I I keep feeling like I've got so much left to do, and then I'll feel really like happy that I'm almost done, and then I'll remember that there's still so much to do. But it's kind of a bouncing back and forth between those two constantly.
The
Yeah.
curse. The curse, yes.
Yes.
And the true artist can be recognized by how to distinguish when to keep going and when to say, well, I could work on this forever,
Yeah.
but at some point I just have to stop, or I will do work on it forever and it will never see the day of light that it's finished.
Yeah. Oh, it's 6:25 a.m. for Brother Pink apparently.
Good morning.
Also, Tom Wilson says he likes the Hyrule and Harridan sculpts. He thinks the only remaining Games Workshop sculpt in that aesthetic is the Red Terror.
Oh, interesting. That. Oh man, yeah, that's a good observation.
That is true, actually. Yeah, because discarding the gaunts, which, despite being from the same era, are not the same aesthetic at all.
Yeah.
He's right. They're the only. The Red Terror is the only real kind of like remnant of that weird third edition intermediary design aesthetic left. All the others are gone, which is a bit sad, really. But
no, wait. What about the? I always lose track of where the Biovore is because it's so bad, but they keep redoing the model anyway. But it's still so bad. Like
no one cares about that.
Are we on a 4th edition? It's crap rules. Like last time Biovores were fun was 2nd edition, maybe 3rd edition.
We're on the 4th edition Biovore. Yeah.
Okay.
The third. I've got to be honest. I have. Oh, hang on. I want to know if Mr. Pink will make a gargoyle type model from that Hydra cast Pyrovore, says Brother Pink.
Oh, that was the good suggestion last time.
It was a very good suggestion. I'd agree.
Was it your suggestion? The way
no,
you said
it
that.
wasn't my suggestion. Darth Bob says 3rd edition was the Smile Vor.
Okay, yeah, I had that one. I bought the when 3rd edition came out, and I got super excited. I bought that Tyranid box that had all the new models in it, which isn't really news, but all those models were terrible. But I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get all the Tyranids, and so I got one of those Smile Vores, and their weird big punchy arms.
Symbio Joe likes the Biovore apparently, so we may have just lost subscribers.
They're all yours, Symbio.
Yeah. I've got to be honest, with regards to the Biovore, the 2nd edition one is definitely my favourite, even if it doesn't quite fit in with modern designs. I don't hate the 4th edition one, but it is a bit... Also, I've got to be honest, both the 3rd and 4th edition Biovores have some rather amusing design elements with the way they handled the spore sacs.
It's not possible to handle a spore sac and not have it. Just think about that sentence. How you handle the spore sacs. Think about handling a spore sac and think about making it not amusing to handle your spore sac.
It's true, but
God, I'm too much like Hydra.
But anyway, the 3rd edition Biovore, it just blatantly had some crown jewels, some jingle bells between its legs. And the 4th edition one, it moved the spore sacs up to its chest, which would have been bad enough if not for the fact that its middle pair of limbs was sort of like cupping them, kind of looking like it was sort of like fondling a pair of spory breasts, which is slightly disturbing. I'm sure there's a joke to be made here somewhere, but...
Oh, I just saw a question from Brett Evans. Mr. Pink, when you separate your green stuff into tins, do you line the tins with something first? I do not, and I don't know if that's a mistake. I just chuck them in there. But Brother Pink is saying he lines his containers with wax paper, which is a bald-faced lie, because he left a plastic drawer here full of green stuff, and I had to like carve it out of there, and I just wound up throwing out a bunch of green stuff because it was stuck in the bottom. I don't worry about that stuff, but you probably should.
Yeah. Oh, Darth Bob says, remember to take your dominatrix to dinner before you fondle her spore sacks.
Good observation.
Given the origins of the name there, that's even worse.
Yeah, I've never really liked the Biovore since that second edition one, which with the weird spidery arms. He was good fun.
He was. Yeah, I'd like to see a new pyro. I tell you one thing that always bothered me about the Biovore, and this is the most ridiculous nitpick you'll have ever heard, right?
I've heard some bad ones.
Well, when I was first getting into 40k, when I was like 9, which was before I actually got properly into 40k, and I was basically just looking on the website and going, wow, look at all these pretty models I'll never have the patience to paint. I remember reading the description for the Biovore and thinking, wow, that sounds awesome. It vomits these spore mines out of its maw. And then I looked at the model and realised, hang on, it doesn't vomit them out of its maw at all. It vomits them out of a silly cannon on its back. That's completely false advertising. Screw you, Games Workshop. You've destroyed my illusions and fantasies forever. So yeah, if we ever get a new Biovore, I'd almost be tempted to have, like, if I were put in charge of redesigning the Biovore, I'd almost be tempted to put the spore mine launcher in its mouth, just because.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's not phallic enough.
Hydra, can you move you're right on the edge of the frame. Can you? Yeah. You can move your camera if that's where you want to sculpt, but just.
I tried to move that,
and it was a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, we have some comments. Symbio Joe, boy, that escalated quickly. It certainly did. Tom Wilson, I've been buying some old NIDs on eBay this week. So far, he's got an old Gaunt, I think a 3rd edition Hive Tyrant, Slug Rippers, and an old Lictor. Vermis.
Is that? Shall we congratulate or send our condolences?
It depends.
Hey, Slug Rippers is an accomplishment. Slug Rippers are awesome. They're the ones with like the little mandibles.
Yeah.
It depends on what he means by old Lictor. If that's a 2nd edition Lictor, that's cool for like old purposes, but like 3rd edition Lictors are rough.
Good for parts though. I've seen. I sent you that rather nice demon conversion someone did with that thing. But anyway, Vermis apparently also had the idea of Mounty Biovore. Symbio Joe put it in its butt, of course.
Well, yeah, that you know.
Although you say that, the original Chaos Dwarf Hell Cannon from Warhammer Fantasy, I believe, was basically a butt cannon.
Yeah, that doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, Tom Wilson, I too am an appreciator of the 3rd edition Tyranids. I have actually got on my ever-growing stash a 3rd edition Hive Tyrant, which I'm going to be using as a prime. I still, even at Mr. Pink's and Hydra's advice, sorry, not advisement, that's not a word, I still kind of don't want to get rid of the grin, because there is some part of me that still kind of likes it and finds it oddly sinister.
I can totally understand that, because that's, I think that face or that whole skull is a nod to the Alien Queen, and I still can understand that someone does not want to rid that tyrant head of that grin, because also the eyes on that sculpt are so tiny that, and the mouth is so big that it just looks like this head carapace plus teeth.
Yeah. And other stuff I've got is I've got an old One Eye, the old metal one.
Nice.
I'm going to be using the claws and the head on making a plastic Carnifex into a more properly scaled old One Eye.
Nice.
Yeah, not entirely sure on what to do with the body. Tempted between either like a Tyrant Guard Alpha, or potentially some miscellaneous non-mainstream 40k Inc. 28 monster of some description, like a rogue Tyranid that's escaped
sounds
from
cool.
an Adeptus biologist lab or something.
Sorry to interrupt, Peter. I'm just mentioning that I mixed up a bunch of epoxy putty, in case you haven't seen this before. I'm going to be using this stuff, but as soon as I mix it up, I'm putting it in this container. I'm going to go put this in the freezer in my beer fridge, and it'll preserve the epoxy putty for at least a day. So I can pull it out later today, or I can pull it out tomorrow if I want to work on it. So there's a little sculpting tip for you in case you missed that last time.
Oh, there's a way more important tip about that, and the tip is get beer freezer in your sculpting area with a freezer compartment. That's the trick.
The trick is not to fill it with too much beer, or you'll never get anything done.
Yeah. Also,
Right.
Hydra. Sorry, not Hydra. So Darth Bob asked what variety of mid Hydra is sculpting.
That depends on if Mr. Pink wants to tell or not.
You gotta tell people, buddy. You can tell them what you're sculpting.
Okay. So I am, as Mr. Pink has found his love for painting, he asked me if I could sculpt a lictor bust for him. So this is going to be a lictor bust. So this is going to be a lictor head. And the fun thing is that I have done that before once. And so I figured, so yeah, Mr. Pink wants a lictor bus. I can do that. And that's I've done it before. No big deal. And then I started to think about it and realized that there are so many things I would have done differently, but I didn't for reasons. And now I'm stuck in a place where I can hardly move again because my own expectations are like, oh yeah, you got to do all the things right you did last time wrong, and you've learned so much, and you can use different putties and all the techs you know now, and yeah, so I'm stuck. I'm stuck here with yeah, and the only relief is that I have a devilish enjoyment sculpting tiny details and knowing that Mr. Pink is going to paint them.
You bastard. I'm not gonna lie, I did a bit of that on the Gun Beast. I was like sculpting stuff and I knew I was gonna give it to Marco, but he didn't know he was gonna get it. And then I was like, what the hell is this part? Is that it? I'm like, Marco can figure it out when he paints it.
Yeah, so you know the feeling. So this is going to be a lictor head, and what I did was, I think I commented on the last post of this, that I went to get some inspiration, and I have this magnificent artwork of Robert. I'm not saying the last name.
Roberto Cirillo. I don't even know
Yeah.
if that's right. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Shit, that would be embarrassing.
Yeah. So these are.
Cirillo, but I could be
Oh,
wrong.
I think you're right. Maybe it's Cirillo.
But yes, that artwork, I love that artwork. In fact, I'm going to use the eye spot grill thing for the lictor head that I'm doing. Not a bust like you, but just like a lictor that I'm doing with a converted head.
So what I found most interesting is these 3 sketches.
Do you want to turn up your light? Can you turn up your brightness? Or
Sure, I can.
let me give some more space. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these 3 heads are very interesting to me because at the first moment I thought, well, these look very similar altogether. Well, liquor heads, but when you see how those are sadly unfinished sketches.
Wait, are you sure those are Roberto's sketches? I don't recognize those.
Yeah, probably the one thing he didn't sell you.
Shut up!
Oh, geez, I should ask him if he have those up for sale, so I can have at least one cool thing from him.
Yo, I told you to go buy some stuff from him.
You know, one thing that's just occurred to me actually regarding the lictor is with regards to the original lictor, the 2nd edition one. I don't think there was a lictor before that. Oh, hello, Blitz Mechanica. The way it's sculpted, we all think of the lictor as just having the tentacles either surrounding the mouth or the tentacles are its mouth. But the original lictor it had a regular mouth with the tentacles
Yep.
coming out of them, which would
Yeah.
theoretically make those feet
Which is-
look more like tongues.
They came
Which
out
is
of its
basically this
nose,
sketch.
basically.
I'm sorry.
It was
both
higher.
spoke the same-
It was higher Hydra. It was like coming out of his like
Oh,
nose
yes.
area.
Yeah,
It was weird.
Yeah, that's right. But I really like this mouthpiece that it also it removes the typical mouth.
Yes,
And
that's nice.
as sort of a circle with all those mandibles. But what I like about these, which and I found so interesting, is that he tried how to pose the head on the body, and you don't see the body in this, and it takes a while. But this is here, the face goes almost vertical,
Yeah.
upright. So
I
he
like
has,
that.
Like here's the face, and here's like a brain part on top of it, and this is a really second edition. And here the head structure is almost horizontal, and this
Yeah.
is more like what we have now, and this is sort of something in between where it's like 45 degrees, and I really like how you can see the process where he tried and where he tried to get a feel for how the head is located on the body. And I have to admit, I'm not sure how I am locating the body at the moment. So this is
Yeah.
it's
If
a
I
nice
could-
start for to think about how it's going to work
If I'm allowed to vote, I vote for the more upright one.
for this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
You want this one?
I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I realize your original bust was not like that, but
Yeah, mine was like the middle one. Mine was like 4th edition.
Also,
Yeah.
the Darth Bob just said the old Lictor's face kind of reminded him a bit of the space jockey from Alien.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I'd be inclined to agree. Has the same sort of like almost like snout going on.
Okay, then it's good we're talking because now I can scrap the whole face area I've been working so
What?
far. And
No, what? Can't you modify that one to be vertical or no?
yeah, of course. And so, Mr. Pink, you asked me why the heck you ever want to work in something different than epoxy sculpt,
Mhm.
or why you would want to work with clay like that.
Yeah.
Here's the reason. I've sculpted this whole face, so if I had sculpted in green stuff, I would have to carve it, rip it off, and tear it down and whatever. And what I now can do is, as I have changed my mind design-wise, I can just, pull it down and change the face altogether.
Look at you, fancy man.
Very clever. Very clever indeed.
Yeah, the benefit is, well, I have realized at some point that my life has turned into a direction where time is a resource. And I don't have the time anymore to sit down and work on a model or a sculpture for hours as I used to. And so I have to find the tools for the time that I have. And the time that I have is sometimes very limited. I just have a couple of minutes to work on things.
Mm-hmm.
But when it sets, the thing is done. I cannot work on it anymore. And having the chance to, go back and work on what I've done before, that's a huge relief to me.
Although you mentioned earlier about how you can keep working on something forever and never be finished it. What was your quote? You were saying something like you have to stop at some point and an artist needs to know when to stop.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes me a shitty artist, but what I like about epoxy putty is it forces you to stop.
That's right.
Because it's set. You can't unset it.
That's right.
You can add layers, but
Tom Wilson says, I know if I just stick my finger in it and ruin my work. Yeah, I think we all know that one.
That's the benefit of epoxy as well. You can't stick your finger in it once it's dry. Fimo, you can stick your finger in it forever.
Yeah.
That's the cork for. And if you want to sort of make a backup, you can always put it in the oven and start working on it again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I need to do actually is as soon as I've got my modelling stuff moved over to my flat from my old house, is I need to take some pictures and upload them to Instagram of this work in progress now for many, many years, because I kind of forgot about it. Completely scratch sculpted Beast of Nurgle I started on. It's basically a slug with a mouth and some tentacles, but I've got to be honest, for what was basically an experiment to see can I make something that looks half decent without any pre-made parts, it's actually looking all right. I mean,
Cool.
Obviously it's a Nurgle thing, so your kind of standards pretty low, but
well, it's safe. Like you don't have to worry about things being perfectly symmetrical and all that, which I highly advocate.
Exactly. Also, Brett Evans says the saying is true art is never finished, only abandoned, which is definitely true.
I've heard the
Nice.
I've heard the same thing about renovations. You never finish a renovation, you just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atelier says, I feel like polymer clay lets you focus on proportions very well because you can take all the time you need to reflect and adapt. I mean. Oh no, he did say adapt, but I think he meant adapt. But either way. Also, just speaking of, I was about to say, because I've got my little Kenner Mantis alien on hand here.
Oh, nice.
And I was about to say, one thing I really like about this thing is the fact that, because obviously it was sculpted before the days of computer sculpting, so it would have been done entirely by hand, and symmetry wouldn't have been so easy, especially with all the detail they crammed into it. It's almost entirely asymmetrical. Like, you look at the close details and you can see that like both the arms and both the legs are actually subtly different.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, but one detail about it I have noticed, which bothers me on some very silly level, is the fact that it has wings, but those wings are attached to its tiny, stumpy little thorax, abdomen, butt thing. So it has wings, but if it were to... And obviously they're far too small for it to fly, unless we've got Bumblebee logic going on here. But if it were to fly, it would be flying by its butt. Very funny.
Oh my god, the stream is the butt stream.
Yeah, it is. This stream has definitely lowered the tone compared to several others.
I blame Symbio Joe. That guy's just straight from the toilet.
Actually, that's a better idea. Let's blame Symbio Joe. Sorry, Symbio Joe, but we've got to have a scapegoat. And
I feel like he would appreciate it. That's the
talking about guilt and blaming someone. Peter, did you not say the last time we talked that you needed to get your stuff over and set up your...
I do, but unfortunately real life is very complicated. Especially
during COVID, eh?
I thought you said Bovid then. I was thinking...
Especially during Bovid. Especially when you're moving into Bovid University. Oh, that's Bovine University, sorry.
When the cows get involved... I'm sorry, my train of thought has just been interrupted. Darth Bob said Hydra should scrap the lick to head and do a lick to butt instead.
Oh my god. Putting the butt back in bust?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so, Flinhammer, so it flies like the caterpillar in A Bug's Life. It's been years since I've seen that movie, but I would assume so. You know, that reminds me of... I have many ideas.
Remind you?
Some of which are... Yeah, I have many ideas. Some which are good, like the ones I hope that end up as sketches on my Instagram. And many, many more are very, very terrible. And one idea I did have was possibly the worst idea I've ever had related to... I can't remember if I've told you this before, so my apologies if I have. My memory is atrocious these days. But possibly the worst idea I've ever had, Tyranid related, was... so, you know those... in Japan, you get a lot of kind of like resin character kits of characters from anime and that lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is taking one of, just as an example, Asuka from Evangelion.
Oh, the best!
Yeah, and, well, I'm more of a Rey fan, but anyway.
It says a lot about you, sir.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I say it says a lot about you, just as my choice of Asuka says a lot about me.
It does.
What does it say about me that I have no clue what you guys are talking about?
It says that you're more of a... What's his name? Genko? What's his father's name?
Gendo.
You're a Gendo fan, Simon. It says that you're a Gendo fan.
Okay.
But yes, anyway. My idea was to take one of these kits, so probably Asuka.
Yeah.
and combine it with Tyranid parts and a whole lot of putty and sculpt it into the Oscar-nid.
What the hell?
I know. So basically, like a cute anthropomorphized Tyranid.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I get what you mean.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh,
People
well,
have done
thank
that. Oh god, I have no idea where it is, but like way back when, someone made like this chibi comic of, I think it was, we had it like posted somewhere on Warp Shadow. It was like
Yeah.
Sisters of Battle fight. Do you remember this, Simon?
Yeah, I think so.
It's Sisters of Battle fighting Tyranids, but the Tyranids are like these pink little chubby things.
Oh, I know that
Like
one.
chibi
That one
nids?
is hilarious. And you've got the really funny looking chibi Sisters of Battle looking.
Yeah, fighting
over
chibi little
policing
Tyranids.
themselves. Yeah. Also, some more comments. Symbio Joe says, "Hail for review, weeb shit," and Brother Pink. Brother Pink says no one likes Mari from Ava.
Who's Mari? Is she the new one?
She's the pink one from
The new one.
the Rebuild films. Yeah.
You cannot have normal characters. Those films?
Yeah, that one. Those ones. Yeah. I've got to be honest. I have no strong feelings one way or the other on Mari because she hasn't really done anything. I like her design, and she does seem to get some rather cool Avas to pilot. Like the first one she pilots is Unit 5, which is like this centaur wheel thing, which is really cool. And the second one she pilots is Unit 8, which is pink and also has 8 eyes, which is amazing. But as a character, she doesn't really have much beyond she exists.
Any tips? Is that stuff streaming yet? Like the whole you cannot whatever Ava stuff, like the reboot? Because I'm not sure. I haven't watched them yet, but I need to.
Well, I don't know where you could stream it.
Yeah.
I've got the 3 that have actually been released so far, because the 4th one still hasn't been released on DVD.
Oh, okay.
Alternatively, you could always hoist the Jolly Roger, which is what I do for a lot of anime that you just can't buy over here.
Yeah.
But if you want to, I think you can watch the Rebuild, as they're called,
Yeah.
films. I think they're on Netflix. I have a
Really?
feeling.
I thought it was just standard Ava was on Netflix.
I don't know. Also,
Okay.
Brother Pink, final movies indefinitely unreleased in Japan.
Oh shit. I watched some of them, all of them, at Brother Pink's house in Japan, and I was either drunk or jet lagged or both. And they don't make that much sense when you're sober, I'm guessing, and they definitely didn't make sense when you're drunk and jet lagged, or maybe both.
Well, speaking as a big Ava fan myself, who has watched all 3 of them whilst sober.
Yes. Important.
The first film is basically the first 6 episodes or so with different animation.
Okay.
The second film is basically the action arc, but even sillier, and honestly a really good film, or at least I like it. The third film goes completely off the rails.
Is that when they're like flying around in like an aircraft carrier that maybe has an angel strapped to the roof, or like an Ava strapped to the roof? Okay, that was the one we tried to watch, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I hate that movie because it completely, like, the direction, like, I know Mood Whiplash is no stranger to Evangelion, or Evangelion is no stranger to Mood Whiplash, but it goes from straight up Mood Whiplash to like Mood. Actually, I can't even think of a comparison.
Okay.
It goes straight up from the end of the second movie is like, yeah, everything looks to be going really good. Shinji's just saved Rei from the inside of the angel, and then it's like, no, everything's terrible. Everything's rubbish. Shinji, you screwed up. Shinji, you're now getting to have a bomb strapped to your neck. It's just really, really not my thing. Some cool robot designs, or cyborg designs, I suppose. Is that a spoiler for a nearly 25-year-old anime?
No, that's fine.
And yeah, so some cool cyborg robot thing designs and some interesting action scenes. But as an Evangelion film, I really don't like it. I'd suggest I'm still going to watch the 4th one because, of course, I am. Also, hello, spooky S Bone Man. But yeah, I'm still going to watch the 4th one because I am a dreadful sucker for Evangelion.
Yeah, I get that.
But I've got to be honest, I really do not rate the third film at all, and I wonder what the fourth film is going to do to recover the series.
And there's only going to be 4, right?
Yeah, there's only going to be 4, assuming the fourth one ever comes out, because as your brother said, yeah, it's just like never happening. Also, hello Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, Hannibal Lecter! Dude, have you been on the stream before? Hannibal's amazing. You gotta check out his Tyranid stuff on Instagram, if you're not already.
I can't remember if I have or not, but I will definitely do so.
Hannibal's avatar is like some kind of like yellowish snid, I think.
Right, yeah.
I've featured it on Warp Shadow before, so... And he's done some of the kind of like Hive Madden style Predator warriors of late.
Oh, I think I know the one.
Did one with like kind of like a badass batleth looking thing made out of 2 Seething Talons from...
Seething Talons.
That's cool. I like that. Seething Talons. They make you really mad.
About being made of plastic.
So there's my train of thoughts I left behind somewhere, I don't know, way back.
Sorry.
When we were talking about 3rd edition.
Yeah.
I was wondering why ever would bother to buy anything other than the warrior kit back then.
Yeah.
Because it felt that you could build like everything from that kit.
Yeah.
If you needed a Hyrule, no Hyrule. That would be.
That's a big warrior.
No. That will be impressive.
Oh, non-standard template construct or whatever. He basically made a Hierophant out of warriors. He took a bunch of little kits and made them into a giant kit.
Also,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Modern Synthesist says, Flinhammer, are you going to do a YouTube community poll post, exploit the algorithm?
What?
I have no idea. Also, Hannibal Lecter, thank you. My Hive Fleet is black and yellow, sure. Happy you like my Predanids warriors. I certainly do. They're very cool. But yeah, I'm not sure what Flinhammer's on about either.
Break the algorithm.
I don't know if he's suggesting that you do one so that your channel gets promoted more.
About what, buddy? Give us some more context.
Yeah.
You said a community post? Hold on. Are you going to do a YouTube community poll post to exploit? So I've done community posts before. I've never done a poll. Apparently I need to.
I guess so, yeah.
About what?
What is your favorite Tyranid? Answer this poll. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well, a good thing would be like, what do you want us to sculpt? If we do another one of those like sculpting tip shows.
Okay, Darth Bob is clearly on a roll with terrible posts. Well, I say terrible posts, very entertaining posts. Is this about Tyranid butts breaking the internet like Kim K? I assume he means Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope not, because the thought of the shadow in the warp manifesting as like butt pictures by a lictor is quite awful.
Didn't you know that that's what the shadow in the warp was a euphemism for? Butts?
No, funnily enough.
Kind of like when we had that thing the other day and we talked about the Eye of Sauron being a euphemism for scary cloaca-looking things.
Oh, I'd mercifully forgotten about that.
I'm just making shit up. Oh, but anyone who like is listening to this and is going, you bloody weebs, talking about Evangelion. Evangelion is a tough show to watch, but I chose it for my Grimdark Film Club thing just because it's like, as Peter kind of hinted at, it looks like battling seizure robots on the cover, but when you actually watch it, there's a whole lot of weird, dark shit going on in there. That's a lot deeper than what you'd think. And at points, it becomes unwatchable, but at the points when it is watchable, I really enjoyed it, especially because there's like some kind of like, not really fleshy monsters, but kind of giant monsters. Anyway, it's on Netflix in Canada. I think it's on Netflix in most of the world, like the original series. And I would say that you could easily watch episodes 1 to... And the series is only 24, 26 episodes long.
Yeah.
You could watch episodes 1 to 18, and it could be a normal show. And then from 18, it gets... I think that's when he went into a depressive state, when he was making it. And you can watch from 18 to about 23 or 24... if you prepare yourself. but episodes 24, 25, 26, or someone in there are pretty much unwatchable. You can watch them, but don't expect to get the same kind of experience out of them. It's basically, picture the final scenes in 2001 A Space Odyssey. Like, what is it, the final 20, 30 minutes when everything just gets whacked? It's like that.
And those two last episodes. But I hasten to add, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr.
No,
King.
go for it.
What you can do is watch episodes 1 to 24, forget about episodes 25 and 26, and instead watch End of Evangelion.
Yes, thank you.
Movie.
Yes, I endorse this. That is the solution I was looking for.
Yeah, it's
okay. If I ever manage to watch more of that show than like 10 minutes, I will try that.
Well, no, like the first couple episodes are easier to watch.
Yeah, I have tried.
Oh, okay.
I've tried, but it never stuck to me. I'm sorry. I'm probably I don't know.
I guess the first episode's pretty slow until the very end, and pretty annoying. Yeah. Because it's a lot of a teenager being like, I don't wanna.
Yeah, it's that hot chick suddenly appearing in that racing car and everything's blowing up and yeah.
I don't remember that part.
Oh, Misato's showing up in the Renault Alpine, yeah.
But things are blowing up?
Well, yeah, because that's when she gets stepped on by the angel when it. Anyway, some comments. So Flynn Hammer says there's a video from the Spiffing Brit where community posts have great reach and can show up on people's feed that don't subscribe to you. The more interaction, the greater the reach. Polls gives 4 ways to interact. So basically, if you have polls on your channel, there's a chance that they'll get recommended to people and you'll get a further outreach. I think that's what he's saying anyway.
Fancy.
Also, Darth Bob says Ava is my favourite anime of all time. It's definitely not for everyone. Also, the Netflix version is unwatchable without Fly Me to the Moon.
It doesn't have Fly Me to the Moon?
No, it doesn't have
Oh, shit. Come on.
There's a huge... Actually, and I say this because I'm the kind of nerd that obsessively catalogues all the differences between broadcasts of anime. There's a whole host of changes. So, putting aside the dubbing differences, and you shouldn't be watching the dub anyway. Because,
yeah, well, Simon will never watch the subtitled one, so he's going to have to watch German dub if he watches anything.
Oh, that's a shame. Because,
yeah, I know. He's really a sometimes disappointing person.
Yeah, I know.
I know. A bit unfair, but unfortunately, I'm inclined to agree with you on this because I mean, the Japanese voice acting is just absolutely stellar. But anyway, the main differences are apparently the translation is a bit balked. So, you know the whole thing about Actually, no, I can't say that because I might spoil it.
They didn't just take the Gainax translation; they changed it.
They changed it for some reason.
Weird.
Also, they apparently couldn't get the rights or whatever to use "Fly Me to the Moon." So not just the ending credits, but any sequence in which the "Fly Me to the Moon" tune is used in the story, the music is gone.
There's no music.
There's music in the rest of the series, but
they've not filled it in with a different song. They just cut the audio.
They just straight up remove the music.
Oh
from
god,
any scene.
damn!
And that includes the scene where Misato is crying her eyes out over Kaji, which is like one of the most moving scenes in the series. And
so she just does it in silence. Oh god.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Also, Brother Pink, they made a relationship between two young males no longer homosexual. Technically, I think their relationship was entirely platonic in the original series, but yes, they heavily toned down the overtones so that it was no longer even remotely romantic. It was just Kaoru was vaguely pretentious as opposed to...
Yo, bro. What up, bro? No homo. That kind of junk?
I don't know. I haven't actually watched the Netflix version. I've only watched... I do actually have the original DVD releases.
So do I. High five.
Yeah. And yeah, apparently it's straight up because Netflix didn't want to pay for licensing for Fly Me to the Moon.
Okay, hold on a second. A fire truck just rolled down my street. I gotta go check something. I'll be right back.
Oh dear.
Hopefully it's not the house that was on fire last time. That would be embarrassing.
That would be very embarrassing.
Chat amongst yourselves.
Talking about Netflix, did you watch She-Ra?
No, I did not watch She-Ra. In fact, I don't actually have Netflix.
Right.
and I probably won't be getting Netflix either. For one thing, I don't really have. I just don't. It's not something I particularly spend my money on. I don't even have a TV license. Because over here you have to have a license to watch TV. I don't know how it works in Germany, but that's how it works in Britain.
Okay. Wow. No.
Yeah. And secondly, I have some major compunctions about supporting Netflix. I've heard interesting things about their work, about their working conditions, and also I'm not sure if I can even mention it on this stream because of how utterly awful it was. Were you familiar with that really weird film they released, like Cuties or something they called it?
No.
You're better off not knowing that film. It's bad. Don't look it up. It's
Okay.
yeah. But ever since that debacle, which was like financed and funded and whatnot by Netflix, I thought, you know what, I don't think I want to support this company.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see what's going on in the comments. Nicholas has just turned up. Nicholas Tregido, I can't speak. Necron Nick, love the series. Straight up hate the film End of Evangelion. Apparently, Brother Pink agrees with him. He doesn't like End of Evangelion either. Also, Brother Pink says it costs a lot to license gamers.
Boyo, come on.
And he doesn't like She-Ra. Apparently, Brother Pink didn't like She-Ra either. So there we
What?
go.
Okay.
Crazy. Wait,
You'll
the new
have
one?
to tell me at some point why not.
The new She-Ra or the old one?
Yeah, the new one.
I haven't watched it.
Because that's the most. I don't know. How can you say that? Including series I've ever seen, maybe that's.
Have you not watched The Expanse?
Say again?
Have you not watched The Expanse?
Yeah, for sure, but the audience is a different in The Expanse.
Okay.
So the new She-Ra is definitely, and I think that's something that set up a lot of people. It's in anime aesthetics.
Yep.
And there are, She-Ra and her friends, and one of them is obviously gay, and there's a lesbian couple, and there's like hints to all kinds of ethnics represented there.
Yeah.
And that was something that pissed off a lot of people. Like the old hardcore, I'm not watching this with my daughter.
Good riddance. You will not be missed.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons I really like that show, and I was a little bit afraid that all that bullshit would keep Netflix from producing that, because I figured that that's something really cool to produce.
Yeah.
And they did not stop, and I really like that.
Good.
Yeah. One show I would highly recommend watching. It is on Netflix. I don't watch it on Netflix because of reasons I've just explained to Hydra. But one show I would highly recommend watching, it's only 24, 25 episodes long, but it's very good, is Little Witch Academia. It was originally a short film, which got a sequel short film, but they're sadly not on Netflix anymore, so your only choice to watch them is, alas, to pirate them. But the TV series, I believe, is still on Netflix, and it's a really silly, fun, just daft series about a young witch from Japan who, well, goes to basically effectively anime Hogwarts to become a witch. The only problem is she's absolutely terrible at magic and prone to getting in trouble.
Nice.
It's a really light-hearted, fun, silly series. Oh, Brother Pink loved Little Witch Academia too, so thank you. Apparently I've got,
but he didn't like End of Evangelion, so who cares about that guy?
The animation is definitely a plus. Little Witch, Brother Pink. I'm calling him Little Witch now.
You can call him Little Witch. I'm sure he's fine with it.
I've got witches on the brain.
Peter,
Peter,
I always get confused. There's End of Evangelion and there's Evangelion Death and Rebirth. Which one is like the remake of the series and which one is the actual end?
Right, so End of Evangelion is the alternate ending. Death and Rebirth is just a compilation movie. It's just like scenes from it's scenes from the TV series with some slightly altered animation in some scenes, some very nice music, but it's entirely unnecessary to watch if you just want to get the story.
Yes, End of Evangelion is the one where Asuka takes on all of the production models, right?
Yes.
Yes, that is the one I love.
Yeah. Apparently, Brother Pink doesn't like it, and
that's kind
of Nick.
It's okay. We can't like everything. He introduces me to cool stuff, and then he becomes too cool for it. I'm surprised it hasn't happened with Warhammer yet.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Necron Nick doesn't like it. Oh, Necron Nick,
no,
you disappoint me.
I know. But yeah, End of Evangelion, I am kind of torn on it. Oh, Atelier is going to sleep.
Good night, Atelier. Bonne nuit. Oh, wait.
Good night.
Something I need to do before I forget. Spooky ass Bone Man. You. Oh no! Oh my. That's the second time I've dropped my wife's model on the ground. I wonder if it survived this time.
You're right.
Well, I don't know if I'll be all right, but.
Is the model right?
Well, the problem is the model is this model. And I snapped her arm off the other time. It's, what's her name? Ilariel? And this is the my second time dropping her on the ground. So, it's a good thing she's plastic. I already snapped her arm off. It's unpainted, so maybe it'll be okay, but...
Yeah, you should be fine. It's not like you're painting it for her and it's like, oh crap, now I've got to somehow smooth over the glue join.
She seems intact.
Yeah. Also, Darth Bob asked, have you ever watched any of Satoshi Kon's stuff?
Is that the Perfect Blue? I've seen Perfect Blue.
Yes, he's done Perfect Blue. I've not actually watched any of his stuff. I've got Tokyo Godfathers on DVD, but I still haven't watched it.
Okay, Spooky ass Bone Man. These are the tools from Lee Valley. Survey says this is just a shitty spoon tool. For comparison, we thought that this might have been the tool that I stole from Brother Pink 1,000 years ago. Oh, they are not comparable.
Oh, that's a pity.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Hannibal Lictor is going to have a nice sculpting session, he says.
Night, Hannibal. Bye, buddy.
Good night.
Oh, Paranoia Agent is apparently floating around YouTube. Interesting thing there, Brother Pink. And do excuse me taking over your stream.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is. Okay.
But anyway, so Paranoia Agent, you can buy it in the UK, but there's a scene that is censored in the UK release, and apparently the BBFC, our film censorship board, refused to classify it with this 1 second of footage, because it implies either the suicide or the attempted suicide of a minor.
Oh.
It's pretty fucking dark. I've not watched it myself, but I have this ridiculous code of honor where if a film or TV series or something is censored in its official release, I won't buy that official release because I don't support censored goods.
Okay.
But I do need to watch it at some point because it's supposed to be very, very good. I don't actually know what it's about, but it's by Satoshi Kon, so it can't be bad.
What the hell am I doing? Oh, right, okay. You guys were talking about witches. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so Spooky, I just wanted to let you know that they're fine. They're okay tools. They only cost $10, but they're not amazing. The rest of them are they passable? I didn't even look. I just got so disappointed. The rest of them are kind of run-of-the-mill and, honestly not machined very well. They're made in India, and, this is really rough.
Ooh.
They are not good tools. I would not recommend them. There's a lot of spatulas, which I don't really need for anything. So maybe I'll just, throw them into a package with someone who needs sculpting tools or something.
Okay. Well, thank you for the recommendation, Darth Bob. I do need to watch both of those. I suppose I should probably... Millennium Actress. Yes, I've heard that's good. I suppose you should probably steer the subject back to...
anything Warhammer?
Because we've drifted far into the world of weebiness.
I have a massive problem, guys.
What's that?
Oh no.
The thing that I've sculpted looks like the dude from the last Star Wars movies.
What?
The bad guy from
Oh, Snoke or whatever his name is.
no, the coming of age little brat.
What are you
Oh, I
talking
killed
about?
my father. I cannot even remember.
Anakin?
What?
Anakin?
Oh, Watto.
No,
What the
bad
hell?
guy, the wannabe Darth Vader.
Oh, Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
What looks
Okay.
like Kylo Ren?
my lictor looks like
Show
him.
me. Does he have a really high set of pants on? Oh, it looks like his mask, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, because it got messed on one side?
See, I was going to say it looks more like a Wayne England drawn skull.
Ooh, that's a good compliment.
Sorry, say again?
I said I was going to say it looks more like a skull drawn by Wayne England, which is
Okay.
pretty high praise in my opinion. Which
Oh yeah, and mine too. I just hope the tentacles and when he gets brows and stuff like that will take away that appearance. But right now I feel like what?
Hey man, you're sculpting in Fimo. You can make anything happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Darth Bob thinks it looks a bit like a Protoss from Star Trek.
Ooh.
Indeed, yes. Protoss.
Yeah. You know, not that I should be starting any more modelling projects because Lord knows I've started enough as is, but I've been thinking about translating one of my sketches into model form recently.
Nice.
Which one?
Well, that's what I'm not sure on. The one I'm leaning to, putting aside the Red Terror, which I definitely want to make because I want to put the Red Terror in my army.
Yeah.
But in
Are
terms
there
of
rules for that? Sorry.
there are rules for the.
I was
Red
going to ask
Terror,
the same question.
Yeah, the Red Terror is still in the Codex because they still sell that poor old now resin tapeworm thing.
It's fine. It was good for its time. It was a pretty cool model when it came out.
It was a cool model
Yeah.
when it came out, yeah, and I still love the Cole Kopinski art they did for him. But
Oh yeah.
it's the lower torso that bothers me. The tail is so flat, like I say, it looks like a ribbon worm or a
Yep.
tapeworm or
Yep.
something.
You're right.
But aside from the Red Terror, I'm torn between a few candidates for what I should do. I kind of want to do the Hive Custodian, which was the cluster spine based artillery beast that you liked so much.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to do the Antlion Haruspex because Flynn Hammer is apparently doing that at some point once
Hey,
he's finished his
Hey,
science.
you guys just made me think of something. Or you just made me think of something. You know Haruspex?
I do.
Do you know the origin of that term? I just learned it.
Yes, it was a fortune teller who used the innards of animals to see the future.
Yeah, so oh god, what the heck is it? Why can't I remember his name? Death, eat, drink, death on Instagram.
Yeah.
Eat, Drink, Death on Instagram is doing this. He's doing a specific project, and I'm not. It's like there's like the Lost Primarch something or other. It's some kind of group project that's going on right now. False Primarch something or other.
Ooh.
Also, how talented is Bits of Bob? Like, what the hell? Bits of Box. Like, look at this guy. Crazy. Anyway, sorry. Eat, Drink, Death is doing this group project of something about a false Primarch or something, and he did this Space Marine that's disemboweling a fish to read the runes in the fish's intestines, and the Marine looks amazing. But he called it a Haruspex tactical Marine. I'm like, Haruspex? That's a big monster that eats things. And then I'm like, wait, maybe I should look up what Haruspex means. And yeah, I didn't know that it's someone who scries from creatures' intestines.
Yeah.
Do you know what a Hierophant is?
A Hierophant is isn't it like a cultist? Or something?
A Hierophant is like a sort of like a royal priest that
Oh.
communes with the gods. A Hierodule is this
way
is an
more
one.
interesting.
Yeah, so a Hierodule was someone that was a woman, generally speaking, that you would talk to the gods with by doing the nasty with her.
Are you serious?
I am quite serious. That is the origin of the term.
So an oracle, but a sexual oracle?
A sexual oracle or sacred prostitute, yes.
Wow. Way to go, Games Workshop. And I thought dominatrix was racy. Man, I shouldn't have been just tagging all my shit with Hydra. Damn it.
Fortunately, most people don't know what a Hydra is beyond big scary bug thing with a really old model. Darth Bob, what's a dominatrix?
You can go Google that, buddy.
You know, it's funny. The first time I ever saw the word dominatrix, it was in the Tyranid Codex.
Yep, probably me too.
And I looked up on eBay thinking, I wonder if they made a model with it. A little bit surprised.
No.
You can say that much.
And you're like, there is a model, but it's not a Tyranid.
And then I found the epic one. I was like, it's tiny. 6mm scaled and doesn't even look like the modern models. I'm disappointed.
It doesn't look anything like a dominatrix.
And now you've come to our rescue, Mr. Pink, and brought the dominatrix into... Oh yes, Necron Nick. A Harridan is a nasty old crone. That is true.
I knew that one.
Yeah, which makes the whole... It's funny, because termagant is another term for a spiteful woman.
Oh my god, Games Workshop, this is not good, man. Why am I playing the Force that has all the, euphemistic terms for women?
I mean, to be fair, it's 40k, where genocide is must be Tuesday.
Yeah,
but...
I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
I must be Tuesday.
Yeah, see, this is one of the things where, with certain exceptions, I can't take a lot of concerns about this thing in 40k too seriously, because the setting is so grim and barbaric already that's you don't get paid as much as me. Yeah, well, I just got my face eaten by a ripper and my legs eaten by something else.
Yeah, and I get it, but there's also certain things that you can't excuse because of, genocide isn't okay, it's never okay, it doesn't matter if it's part of, 40k fluff, and a lot of people use this defense to say that we shouldn't have things like representative armies or female space marines or any of that stuff. They're like, it's a sad dictatorship future.
Sorry, but I think the logic is completely wrong, because that's the reason why you especially should have things like that, like female space marines, because you can. There's so many weird things going on, then why the fuck not?
Yeah, but a lot of people use it as, they say that this is like a futuristic dictatorship, and maybe it's like a male hierarchy and all this shit, and you can't. When people argue for representation in models, whether it's painting, whether it's actual models of women, trans people, whatever, they're not asking you to explain how that makes sense in your fantasy world. They're telling you that these things matter in the real world, and we're real people who play these games in the real world. So when we go into that fantasy world and we do things in that fantasy world, we'd like to be able to see ourselves in it, all of us in it. And it doesn't matter what your fantasy world says about the rules that you made in your fantasy world. Those things can always be changed, and there's no reason to not change them. And in-world rules to not change something are not good reasons. You can't say, we can't have female space marines because they said in the rules, or they said in the fluff in 1986 that they're only men. We can change that shit as we grow up and as our hobby grows up. You can't justify excluding people based on in-world reasoning. Sorry, that's my soapbox.
Right.
Talking about inclusion, I don't want to burst anything, but this is by far the most inclusive tabletop you can ever play.
Really?
Yeah, Infinity has everything. Even the Uyghur.
Sorry?
The Uyghurs. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
The oppressed Muslim Chinese minority. Yeah.
Oh,
Uyghurs.
The Chinese are doing awful things too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's Uyghur.
Uyghur. Yeah. I've never known how to pronounce that word either. But,
there's Uyghurs in Infinity.
The pronunciation is Uiguren. So yeah, whatever. But they have even. I don't want to make this a commercial show, but I bought recently the the comic book, and the second comic book they put out, and the main character is an Uyghur
Wow.
Chinese
Yeah.
person, and the whole thing deals with how he gets discriminated by the quotation marks pure Chinese population and stuff like that.
Like Yu Qing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The state empire, and but if you're looking for representation, let me just fetch this. Just because I just flipped through the book.
Yeah.
Of course you have your nice looking ladies there, but you also have like
where are your nice looking gentlemen? Oh, there's a nice looking gentleman.
Like you have Asian characters, you have nomads, but what I found most interesting is that you have Islamic characters or Muslim characters as well. And what I love about Infinity, the fluff, is that they sort of take Islam into a new direction, and there it's called Haq Islam, where they lean back or orientate more of the medieval Islam, or our medieval, while we were still beating each other with sticks. The Muslim Empire was far beyond us, technology-wise and cultural-wise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so they try to pick up that storyline again, and I think that's brilliant. I think it's I'm in awe with that. As far as I've left Infinity behind, I think if you're looking for a game that has proper representation of ethnics and sexes and everything, that's the place to look for.
Which is interesting because it comes out of Spain, and I don't know if anyone follows Wilbur Whately on Instagram or on Twitter, but he's pretty active, and like he's led me to believe that Spain is not the most progressive place.
I think that's true for some places.
Yeah.
But I think that Corvus Belli has sort of tried to live up to the the responsibility.
Yeah, that's good.
And the guy who makes all the Infinity fluff, which is like the most. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce how to describe it, but he has read everything, like all the cultural, everything in Infinity has its meaning in our either cultural or mythological world, and he sort of digs out things that are not as blunt as Games Workshop would do. Like, I think that someone at Games Workshop stumbled across a name. Well, this is a Hierophant. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's take that. Well, she's the one in power. Let's call her Dominatrix. Okay, let's make it sound Latin, and we're good with that.
Yeah.
When you have Latin name in Infinity, it will have a meaning, and the miniature it will represent on the battlefield will be a like an update to the thing that it meant before.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Sorry.
That's good.
Excuse my silence. I don't really know a lot about Infinity, so there's not a lot I can really contribute. But
no, but this is good. We're learning about Infinity.
Yeah, it's a game I've been looking to get into because I love the aesthetic. I love the sort of like almost like late 80s, early 90s anime look it's got going on. Surprise, surprise, weeb shit rears its head again. And it does look very interesting, like the whole sort of like what's the word? The kind of like the way that it has all these like different, as you say, different forces from all across the world. And from what I understand, a pretty tight set of fluff and very good rules, I've heard as well.
Well, if you want to talk to anyone about it, you got to talk to Hydra because he's been all the way through it. But
fair enough. But yeah, I've already started 1,000,000,001 projects as is, and I'm in the process of starting. Oh, I might start it sometime anyway, but I don't know. It's funny because like I have no compunctions about starting yet another what's the word? Yet another 40k or Age of Sigmar Force project thing. But that's because I'm very familiar with the worlds and whatnot. So kind of like it's whereas obviously immersing yourself into a whole new setting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's more of a barrier to entry, and I don't know.
I think that when I entered the world of Infinity, I was done with Games Workshop and everything that had to do with it. Like
Peter, have you heard the interview we did with Hydra on Xenos Alchemist? Because it might be interesting. He talks about some of this stuff. I
will have to watch that, or listen to that rather. I still haven't gotten around to doing it.
Yeah, no, not to cut you off, Simon. I just wanted to note that.
No.
It's well documented. Not saying you can't say it now, but I just wanted to plug it.
Yeah. Also, just going back to the comments, some discussion over the whole thing. Necron Nick says, complete opposite of Kingdom Death. The game concept sounds cool, but I hate the edgy monster models and the pinups. I've got to be honest, I know very little about Kingdom Death. Some of the monsters are interesting, to say the least. The pinups, I'm kind of on. Like, on the one hand, yeah, they're a bit tacky. But on the other hand, like, they're not really the worst things I've ever seen, and like they're not exactly, I don't know, they're not offensive. They're just sexy miniatures.
Well, not offensive to you, right?
Well, not offensive to me, but the same could be said with a lot of things, and that's the thing. I mean, I try not to get involved too heavily in the whole sort of like socio-political side of things, because I just find it leads to arguments.
Yes.
And I know, and one of the few things I know is that I don't know a lot, so I try not to get involved. I just try not to talk about things I don't know too much about, I suppose. Yeah. But certainly from what I've seen of the Kingdom Death pinup models, they're not outrageously offensive in as much as they're literally just slightly cutesy, slightly sexy personifications.
Well, you have not seen what they did before before the Kingdom Death Kickstarter was done.
What did they do before?
I've seen the actual monsters they did, and quite frankly, some of those are far more kind of like shocking than the pinup versions. I mean, the Wet Nurse is a
that's what I was referring to, because
isn't that the Kickstarter though?
No, that was before that. That broke the internet that day.
Yeah. I mean, they wanted to make something horrific, and they certainly succeeded in that regard.
Yeah, but like you can make horrific without putting dicks all over it. Like
it's true, you certainly can.
I'm not really impressed when you make something horrific by putting like breasts and dicks all over it. Like, be a little more creative. Like, at least have the decency of H.G. Geiger to disguise the penis that you're putting on your work and in the main screen.
H.R. Geiger.
Sorry, H.R. Yes.
Oh.
But absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Kingdom Death. So, yeah, Necron Nick, a lot of it is very, very edgy. In fact, I actually think that the pinups are, in some ways, slightly more tolerable than some of the monsters, because they're, by virtue of them being silly for fun models, they are inherently less edgy. But, I don't know. Not really for me. They're very well sculpted from what I've seen, though. I will give them that. They're technically they're very well done. It's not like they stuck 2 balls and a sausage of green stuff on and called it a day. They did put their effort into their horrific, sloppy
porn play.
Yeah. Also, Darth Bob says, I don't know, H.R. Giga had a lot of pretty overtly sexual painting. A lot of it was in no way disguised. I think there's a tasteful way to portray psychosexual horror without being tacky. I would agree. It's also worth noting that H.R. Giga was a very disturbed man who, when asked like if one of his paintings was a photograph because it was so realistic, replied the only place you could photograph his paintings was in hell.
Whoa! I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he was a very creative man and very clever and all that.
And he was very crazy, yes.
I didn't know he was crazy.
Oh, he was crazy, all right. I mean, you have to be crazy to create things like Necronom 4 and all that. But also, Brett Evans says, could be worse. Could be Dark Elder slaves. Absolutely. Those sculpts were...
yeah.
God, those bloody things.
That was... I gotta own the fact that I didn't realize those were as bad as they were when I wasn't woke enough on that. And I kind of took a commission from a buddy of mine, and I brought those models home, and my wife was like, what the fuck are these? And I'm like, oh, yeah, these are not good models.
Yeah, I mean, even aside from the questionable content of the miniatures, they're just hideous things. I mean, the faces, the everything. They're some of the worst sculpted models I think Games Workshop has ever put out.
Are you referring to the what was that, 3rd edition on the Bard?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dark Eldar slaves that went on as Drubile Vectors of Destruction.
Okay.
Simon is a fan.
Oh no.
I'll just keep quiet here.
It's all right. I mean, there's. I mean, to be fair, I think if they were like somewhat tacky but well sculpted,
like tastefully, like put like a dress on them or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
They had dresses on.
Did they?
Yes.
They
Could
did.
hardly tell.
They even have bras.
What kind of shitty slave girl wears a bra, eh?
Yeah, Princess Leia does, and no one complains about that.
One that wants a bit of support when they're being whizzed around.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Well, what they have is what Games Workshop had a model which had them without a bra, and they said no, we cannot do that. But
I didn't know that.
There are apparently a few casts out there who sort of got out
free.
of hand, but in the first place they wanted to have them without bras and added bras afterwards.
Yeah, it's funny because like
which I have to admit it, that did not keep my 14-year-old self filled up with hormones from ripping off those bras.
What?
How would you even do that? They're sculpted directly onto the model.
Yeah, just it's so simple. Just cut away the lines that define the bra and add nipples, and there you go.
I feel like I've seen this model.
Necron Nick says the old Marathi was pretty risque. It was. She was wearing a bra, but it didn't have a cup on it, so...
What?
She got this,
I don't remember this model.
This was the old Marathi, the one riding the Pegasus from Warhammer Fantasy.
Oh, I don't know.
And yeah, it was... she was wearing...
My 14-year-old self would have died for that.
I don't remember this. I gotta go look it up. Hold on.
Yeah, it was... It would have been far more free than nipples, yes, indeed. Oh, Brother Pink's out. I'm sorry, Brother Pink. We've really lowered the tone this stream, haven't we?
Yeah, we kind of have.
I'm so sorry.
He might be going out to take care of his kid. See you later, Brother Pink. Sorry for this being a weird-ass stream.
Yeah. Oh, God. My sincerest apologies.
To whom for what?
To everyone for everything.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Darth Bob, the female ogre, the man-eater, and the cheerleaders. Actually, they were all the Blood Bowl metal cheerleaders were.
Wait, are we talking Marathi who is like standing? You said riding a Pegasus?
Yeah, this was an older model. She was riding on a Pegasus, and I can't remember the name.
Oh, there we go. Okay, what's going on? What am I... Oh, wow, that's a boob.
It is indeed a boob, yeah.
Okay. I got you
now.
This stream is totally not being monetized. No, it definitely is not.
Hey, it says, like, you have to do, like, heavy usage of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, oh boy. Demonettes have always been risque, the older ones even more so. Yeah, that's true. I actually got some of the made-to-order 3rd edition Demonettes. Not because they had boobs, I hasten to add. I'm not that much of a child. But more because they're actually just really nice sculpts, and Juan Diaz absolutely knew what he was doing.
I feel like I am the advocate for boobs here.
You are the advocate for boobs, absolutely.
Well,
Why do you think I invited you on the stream?
My 14-year-old self bought I played 40k only, but they released the Demon Army book for fantasy before they did the 40k book.
Yeah.
And I bought that very book just for the Demonettes.
Just for some.
I mean, to be fair, I am not anti-boob. I am more kind of like neutral on the subject of boob for fear of being shunned by my fellow co-hosts.
I don't really need boobs in my miniatures. I get plenty of boobs in real life, and I was just saying that anyone who had to go out and buy the Juan Diaz Demonettes to get some boob really needs to discover Google and the internet, because there's like a limitless supply of boob.
You know what? When my 14-year-old self bought those miniatures and marveled on those drawings of Demonettes, there was no internet. There was no Google. Of course, nowadays everyone can Google boobs and have all the boobs they want. Yeah, when I was small, there was no
stream is going in the toilet.
What?
This stream is going in the fucking toilet.
I was about to say, this is the worst stream we've ever done, isn't it?
Hold on, I need to make a disclaimer for people. Where's my Sharpie?
Oh no. Yeah, this is the three wargamers discuss boobs stream.
You know what? I will make this face more nasty now with more shrinkles and more things you will never be able to paint now.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? Tom Wilson says, I bought the last sculpt of Lilith Hesprax for the same reason. Juan Diaz was an amazing sculptor. He certainly was. I've got to be honest, and I know I'm going to get booed off the stream for this. I actually think the new Lilith Hesprax model doesn't look very good.
No, I agree. I'm not booing you off the stream. I would agree.
Yeah.
The model's fine. The face is not.
Yeah. And also, honestly, like, of all the models that could be fighting in lingerie, a Dark Elder Witch, considering that they are literally kind of like part gladiator, part sort of like show performer, the warning extreme boob content I've just seen.
There you go.
But yeah, considering that the Dark Elder Witches, they are like they're performers and entertainers as well as warriors. It makes sense to some degree that they would be wearing ridiculously stupid outfits because they're entertaining whilst they're fighting. Not in that way.
Yeah.
Teenage boys, but they are very much kind of like they're going to be showing off. So if anyone is going to be fighting in a pair of bra and panties, it's going to be Lilith Hesprax. And I don't know, putting her in trousers kind of defeats that a little bit. But
I don't care. Trousers can be sexy too, man. Get some nice leggings. Hot. Like,
oh, they absolutely can. I just think those ones aren't.
Anyone who's hating on the new Lilith Hesprax because she's not sexy enough needs to go find Google on the internet. But I just don't think it's a great model. Like, I don't love her, like, screaming face, and her hair's okay, but it's a bit much. And the pose, like the old, was it the Juan Diaz, the one where she had the mask on?
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Wait, you had a mask?
Didn't she have like a half mask or something? No, like covering her eyes or something?
Yeah, half mask.
Yeah, so that one is beautiful. And like the pose on that one is really, she's like, it's like coiled menace. Like she's getting ready to spring. That's how I feel. And that is a lot. Okay. One of the things that I love about Infinity, I mean, Christ, if they could put any more tactical rocks, it would be ridiculous. But what I love about Infinity,
they made a set.
I know. That's why I made that joke. What I love about Infinity is that Infinity is really good at posing models that aren't screaming, that aren't jumping, that aren't brandishing weapons in your face. Like they can do this like coiled menace, like the idea of a snake that's coiled up and is about to spring on you, right? Yeah. That is what I saw in the old Lilith Hesprax model, and that takes talent. And like she's got a dynamic pose, but not a dynamic pose that's like jumping up in your face. And it was perfect. And then the new one is just kind of all over the place and like screaming and
stupid.
The new one, it falls very much into the Games Workshop trend of jumping off a rock, screaming.
Yes. And like when I watched that, I thought we were going to maybe talk about this, but I guess we didn't really. The preview on the weekend, we did the stream, the I don't know, Games Workshop preview. One of the things that I love so much about that Witch Hunter, he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
He's just standing there looking, like, considering
Static
something.
pose.
Like, that's really cool. That's how you make a really cool model. Like, if you made all your models static pose, I get it, but that would be boring. But it takes more talent.
May I interrupt? No, because I would like to add something.
Is it boobs?
No. It's something cultural, and it's something you can learn from.
Oh, is it? Are you getting your art teacher hat on? Are you going to teach us about art?
Exactly.
Oh, free art lesson. I love it.
Oh, we're in luck today.
Okay.
The stream may be redeemed yet.
Yeah. Please redeem the stream.
So if you look up Napoleon, I think I'll do it on my other computer, hoping not to break everything.
Yeah.
But if you look Napoleon, there's a portrait of Napoleon, on which he's riding a horse.
Yep. Oh, where the horse is like reining up, like rearing up.
Yeah. Where the horse is upright. So if you make a composition analysis of that,
yeah,
you will see that there are no vertical and no horizontal lines in that.
Oh.
I think it. Damn it! I'm trying.
It's a very famous picture. I think anyone who pictures a portrait of Napoleon is automatically picturing this portrait.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just tried to Google it. I'm not sure if it's from Caspar David Friedrich, but no, where I'm going.
I'm sorry, slight tangent here, but I looked up that particular portrait of Napoleon.
Yes.
And there was one of the results on Google Images was a National Geographic article called "Napoleon Lost the Battle of Waterloo. Here's Why," and I couldn't help but think of it as like, yeah, isn't this kind of old news at this point? I think it's a bit too late to be branding
clickbaiting it.
Current events, yes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you Googled Napoleon and you came up with Lilith Hesperax.
No. No, that would be a bit of a stretch, I feel.
That'd be amazing. That'd be some sick Google foo.
It would.
Okay. I'm almost there. So portrait on a horse.
Yes.
And it is. Damn it! Who painted that? My Google foo is bad right now. So, folks out there, if you want to look up that later, Google Napoleon Bonaparte portrait on a horse. And you will see Mr. Bonaparte riding a horse, which is, how do you say, rearing?
It's rearing up.
Rearing, yes. Legs up in the air, front legs up in the air. So what the whole painting is all about, that there are no horizontal lines in there. No vertical lines. Everything's diagonal. The horse is diagonal. The coat of the dude is diagonal. The landscape is diagonal. Even the clouds in the back are diagonal.
Really?
Diagonal.
I've never noticed.
So there's just one thing that's horizontal and vertical, and that is the line of his eyes and his nose. That's the single cross in the whole composition. And when you look at the portrait, it looks like he's the coolest dude on earth, and he's peeing ice cubes.
What? Because he's so cool?
Yeah, and
I love your fucking crazy expressions. That dude is so cool, he's peeing ice cubes. This is the best stream. The best one we've ever done.
Yeah. Thank you. And the artist did that on purpose, because the more chaotic the surrounding, the more calm his face is, the more he appears to be in control. And this is one of the calmest poses I can think of. Of course, he's pointing. I think one arm is pointing in some direction, but just for the sake of having the military sign and being not horizontal as well. But his face is so stern, so sinister, and so in control of the whole chaos that is engulfing him. That made me think of what you just said, that calmness can be like this coiled up snake, can be can be like a predator.
Can be threatening.
Can be threatening.
You can be calm and threatening.
Oh, we have an interesting point here from Blitz Mechanica. That Napoleon painting is also not a reality. He made the journey on through the mountain pass on a mule, not a stallion. It's pure propaganda.
Yes. And
cool.
And that's, of course, all paintings are propaganda, and nothing would have passed him without him signing that off. And there you can see one even further that the whole thing is composed, that every line is there's nothing naturalistic in that picture. Maybe his face is, but look at the horse and look at the surrounding. That's all made up. It's all, as said, propaganda. That's totally right.
Yeah. Speaking of art of real people, I've always found it amusing how how Vlad Tepes, I can never remember if that's how you pronounce it, but more commonly known as Vlad the Impaler, there is precisely one singular depiction of him, and in the art he looks mildly confused. He doesn't certainly look like one of the scariest men in history next to Genghis Khan, that's for certain.
Well, I think it's also a very old picture, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, he's a very, and they said he's a very old person. Of course.
I think that by the time Napoleon came around, like the whole like epic portraits and like, I don't know, propaganda thing, it might have evolved slightly from when like Vlad was impaling folks.
But yeah, but like even then, like some of these old paintings can really like feel what the person was like from it, even from those days.
Yeah.
But you look at Vlad the Impaler's sole surviving representation, and it looks more like he's going, yes, I think I shall have bean dip tonight.
I think that
impaling! Oh, it's Tuesday. What was the expression?
Genocide again. Oh, must be Tuesday.
There you go. Oh, impaling again. Must be Tuesday.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah. Well.
This is the best worst stream we've ever done. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's my fault or...
No. It's always Simon's fault.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Always blame the German.
You just can't keep those spore sacs under control, you know?
Whoa! Now we're getting spicy. Oh, boy. It
was whoever mentioned the Biovore. It was their fault.
Oh, well, that was my fault because... no, it wasn't my fault. It was whoever bought the 3rd edition or whatever Biovore from eBay.
So how's the chat finding that? Our
bullshit?
Our bullshit.
They seem to be quite interested in it. Spooky S Bone Man says, this is fascinating. I never thought about composition quite like this. Hopefully he's referring to Napoleon and not spore sacs.
Well, if that's one thing I have achieved tonight, I can sleep well.
Yeah. That is true. Oh dear. Yeah, I've got to be honest. One of my favorite models that is kind of like capturing that sort of like dynamic, but also not too dynamic look. And one of my favorite Warhammer models in general is actually the Bretonnian's The Green Knight.
Ah, yes, classic.
It's a great model. There's a really interesting story behind it, actually. So, and this is shameful.
Sorry. If you look at the model, I think it's pretty close to the Napoleon we just talked about.
Yeah,
it is. But yes, the interesting story about it. Now you'll have to excuse me. I can never remember who it was that sculpted it. It was either Alan or Michael Perry. I think it was Michael, but it was shortly after
his accident.
Yeah. So in an accident, obviously he lost his arm in an artillery reenactment.
Wait, is that true? Simon, I thought we had this conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, he
needed to learn to sculpt again with his left hand, and some say that he's sculpting better now.
Yeah.
Did you just steal the story?
But the interesting thing about this here is, because this is the really interesting part, is he was told he'd never sculpt again, and he was determined to prove them wrong. And the first miniature he sculpted for Games Workshop after the incident was the Green Knight.
No! Are you serious?
if what I've been told is true, then yes, I am.
That is some epic shit. That is amazing. Wow.
It is.
I love that model even more.
That's how you tell someone to fuck off and...
Yes, that is how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the fact, I don't know, for all the... And I
Wow.
love the crazier models from Warhammer and Age
God
of Sigmar
mode.
and all that, but the fact that one model, just a guy on a horse, can be so menacing,
Yeah.
I think that's the sign of a truly great sculpt. Likewise, I think it's still in production. The Nurgle champion on the horse, it's in resin now.
Nurgle champion on the horse.
With the crow.
The crow and the signpost and the really withered, diseased-looking horse. Like, that's not doing anything particularly dynamic or anything, but that is such a creepy, sinister model.
Yep.
Like, that model just... perfect. Yeah.
I'm still blown away by that Perry story. Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Blitz Mechanica. Am I shouting into my
No, I was shouting. When I said no, I probably destroyed all the microphones.
I see. Oh yeah, Brett Evans also loves that Nurgle Lord. Yeah. What was I going to say? Speaking of old models, and so you remember, I seem to recall you with the Gun Beast, which I'm still in awe of. I absolutely love that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I seem to recall you based it on a recast Tyrannifex you bought by accident.
Yeah.
Well, I have. I hasten to add, these are both out of production models. I'm not a cheapskate that buys recasts of existing models.
I don't judge.
Right. Well, I do judge myself. So there we go. But I've actually. Necron Nick's heading off. So
night, Necron Nick.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
But I've dipped my toe into the murky world of reproduction models, shall we say.
So if Brother Pink was still here, he'd tell you that there's a market for recasting, because there are models that Games Workshop doesn't produce anymore, even when you try and order them from Games Workshop on these limited production run whatever things, and that Brother Pink has bought models from a Chinese recaster simply because he cannot buy those models from Games Workshop anymore.
And that's my thing. I will never buy a recast of a model that's still in production, because it's like, at that point, you're just being cheap. And if you want to buy a model for cheaper, if it's still in production, there are better ways to do it without just straight up bootlegging. But with out of production models, like especially Forge World stuff that is never going to get made ever again.
Yeah.
Especially of obscure things like
anything Tyranid.
Anything Tyranid, exactly. In this case, I bought a pair of Dreadnoughts, the Nurgle one and the old Mark IV.
Oh man, those Dreadnoughts were so cool. The old Chaos ones.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I love them, and obviously, Symbio Joe's going to have to go to bed in 5 hours, so...
Night, I think, maybe?
I'm not quite understanding what he's saying. I'm not sure if
this is how Symbio Joe operates. You don't ever really understand what Symbio Joe's saying. You just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. But yeah, so in any event, I bought the Nurgle Dreadnought with the heavy bolters and the big grisly power claw, which I love. And the Mark IV Dreadnought with an Inferno cannon and the close combat weapon. The Space Marine Dreadnought, though, I think we discussed this before, albeit I was just in text rather than on voice. What I want to do with it, though, because as I think I've mentioned before, I want to do this little mini Inc. 28 or Kill Team for Sisters of Battle. I want to make a Sororitas Dreadnought. I went to the trouble of writing a ridiculous amount of fluff. Well, not a ridiculous amount, actually. That's a bit of an exaggeration.
A goodly amount?
A goodly amount of fluff for the for an obscure pattern of Dreadnought known as the Castroferum Ignea pattern, which roughly translates to Castroferum
Fire
or something. Yeah,
that's all the Latin I know.
Because yeah, the Sisters of Battle like them some flamers.
Yeah.
And basically the idea behind it was that they were made to order conversions of existing Dreadnought chassis to allow the entombment of mortally wounded battle sisters. They were mostly retired, well not retired, but they mostly went out of production because they found that any Sister of Battle that was wounded to the point where they would need a dreadnought would most likely not survive the entombment process.
Ooh.
But a few of them did survive.
Ooh, and they're the crazy ones.
Nice.
Yeah, a few of them do survive and do exist in the 41st or 42nd, I forget now, millennium, and they are of course like revered, well, almost literally living martyrs at this point, because that's kind of what a dreadnought is.
Yeah.
And so this Mark IV dreadnought is going to be a Castra Ferramignia, so it's going to be a Sisters of Battle dreadnought.
Nice.
Yeah.
Question, because this came up when they previewed the Sisters combat armor, whatever, on the weekend. Was there a Sisters dreadnought? Did Forge World make one? Did I forget about that? Did Games Workshop?
There is an interesting story about that. So Forge World never made a Sisters of Battle dreadnought. What Games Workshop did was they released. You remember Ephrael Stern or whatever her name was?
Yeah.
Back in the mists of time of second edition, long before I even existed and before the hobby was even something I knew about.
I was around, yes.
Yeah.
You're that old.
I am.
Well, I'm not saying he's old. I'm saying I'm but a filthy youngling. But anyway, they did release instructions for making a Sisters of Battle dreadnought of Ephrael Stern. Which basically consisted of the metal dreadnought with a few extra Sisters of Battle pieces.
With that giant inquisitional eye that the one priest carried around?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember this article. You know what? I probably have it here somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I'm an old man.
The knowledge I have of it is this one mail order archive, like, why not make this from these parts suggestion. And that's the only, to the best of my knowledge, canonical Sister of Battle dreadnought that exists.
So what you're describing, earlier in this conversation, we had Hydra describe the lengths that he went to find boobies before the internet. What you're describing here is the lengths that we went to find conversion ideas before the internet. We had to wait for Games Workshop's mail order to put together this random little thing about, hey, wouldn't it be cool if... And then we all bit-sorted the pewter parts and made them.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good times.
Yeah. But yeah, and obviously I never grew out of it because, I don't think
As you shouldn't.
Time before the internet because I'm only 24, 25 this year. So
I'm sorry you don't know a time before the internet.
I know. It does cause me great existential pain, I can assure you. But
okay, as it should.
Yes.
I don't know if you're joking, but I'm not.
No, I'm not. I laugh, but I do not joke.
Oh.
But
I should probably wrap this up soon, just giving the high sign, because it's almost dinner time here.
And I am past my time as well. I just lost complete.
Yeah.
I'm having way too much fun with you guys.
You know why you're having way too much fun with us? I'm pointing at the sign on my desk right now.
Oh no.
Which I cannot see.
Have you not seen it yet?
No.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Get on your stream, buddy.
Oh, that's not really working for me. It's
too bad.
It's...
This sign says warning extreme boob content.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, that's why you're distracted. All the extreme boob content. All right, so maybe we should wrap this up because it's been the greatest stream there ever was. So thank you all for joining.
Yeah. Before we do wrap up, because we somehow got sidetracked from the subject to something, I've actually forgotten. This stream's just been a blur of hilarity. But I never did decide what Tyranid sketch I did to translate into plastic. Like I say, I'm thinking the cluster spine beast, but
I gotta go look them up. One sec. Simon can't see him.
Someone suggested making a poll on Instagram so you get more traffic.
That was on thing. Hold on a sec. Let me see if I can do a thing. Let's get high tech for a moment and hope I don't break the internet.
Oh dear, we're getting an old tech priest in his house.
Something like that. Let's see if it works before I claim it. Why won't you work? Firefox, be nice. Okay, here we go. And can I YouTube chat guest window? Let's add another thing. One moment, please. This is called Modern Sith, of course.
Okay, guys. While you're doing your thing, I'm packing up.
Yeah, you pack it up, buddy. Well, you can look. Can you see the stream right now, Simon?
No, it's still loading, and
that sucks.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I just took over. Since you're packing up and we're not sculpting anymore, let's go find Peter Evil Eye. What? Is there a dot? Is there a period? Peter dot Evil Eye?
No,
it's underlined.
Oh, Simon is a big fan. He's got it all memorized. Why is it?
I wrote down his name way too often today in our shit talk.
No.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so let's see. So we got this. Oh, fuck you, Instagram. You're the worst. Okay.
You'll have to excuse me. I'm a few seconds behind you.
It's okay. You're just missing me swearing at Instagram because in order to click on one of your pictures, I have to actually sign in, and I don't really want to do that right now. Actually, no, we're not gonna do it. Okay, so we got this big dude up in the left. Who's this guy with that looks like a Haruspex mouth with the crushing claw arms?
That's the Haruspex. Yeah, that's the one that Flynnhammer says he wants to do.
Okay, and then we've got a Hierophant over here on the right.
That's the Hierophant, yeah.
Okay, and then we've got the is that the Doom of Malachi, the awesome flying one?
Oh, the Parasite of Mortrex.
Sorry, yes, thank you, Parasite of Mortrex. And then we've got the Dimacaron Fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what do we got down here? We have is that the Hive Warden or whatever? Oh no, the one down here with the spines.
Hang on, I'm just waiting for it to scroll down because the internet. The Hive Custodian is the porcupiney looking one covered in prickly bits.
Yeah, I vote for that one.
Right, I was thinking that one too. Yeah.
My second vote would be for the Parasite of Montrex because I think you really got the lines on that one.
Thank you.
Okay, we should probably wind this down because
Yes.
I think Hydra is getting the high side.
I'm terribly sorry. I will let you guys go.
That's fine.
No, that's totally fine. I just since I'm not seeing anything, I cannot partake in any
commentary.
Well, anyway, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been an honour to serve with you, stream with you.
Well, with the way this stream went, maybe it was a bit of service as well.
Oh boy.
Weeby boob fan service.
Yeah. Good night, Tom Wilson.
Good night, Tom. Thanks for joining us.
And I will. So I will endeavour to either buy a Haruspex Exocrine kit to convert into the Hive Custodian, or alternatively, I will look at buying a recast of an Uska Garage kit to make into the Uskanid.
Either one, I'm into.
Yes. But anyway, it's been wonderful to talk to you guys and to talk with all the guys in the comments.
There's been some gals in there as well.
And some gals. Yeah, my apologies.
That's fine. I think just for Sprite, but whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, it's been good.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for putting up with all our bullshit.
No, thank you for putting up with my bullshit.
And thank you for being the host.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could take my disjointed British ramblings.
Well, I think Hydra's made it clear from all his posts that he rather enjoys your disjointed British ramblings. He said something about a pancake recipe.
Oh, what now? Oh boy.
Not anymore. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Anyway, we'd better wrap this up, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much, and we'll try again next week. Hydra, we'll see if you're available.
Yes.
Yep.
I will.
Oh, actually, next week we're going to try something special, and we might have to do it on Tuesday, but more information on that soon. Watch the. I'll post about it on my Instagram/Twitter, and also post about it on the community page. But we got something special lined up for next week.
Ooh.
Tease, tease, tease.
Yes, and it will definitely be Tyranid related, so definitely tune in then.
Oh.
But it might be on Tuesday at this time. We'll have to see.
Dog Bob just said, "Night, guys. Don't let the nid boobies bite."
Oh my God. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.